The point is, in our testing, what we find is there's a really wide variation in the performance of different boots that you get, that you can buy. So the first one, remember, was only able to walk up about a 2-degree incline, and this one's going to be able to do a 20-degree incline. Just like our winter tires had a little symbol on them that told us that they'd been tested for performance in these conditions, wouldn't it be great if our footwear also had that label? So that's what our team has been working on for about 3 or 4 years now in Winter Lab, which is one of the other labs you'll see on the tour here. We ask people to walk up and down an icy slope inside Winter Lab. So this is an ice floor here, about 6 meters long, and you have people wear different footwear walking up and down this lab that we can tilt to different angles. The angle, and we can rate the footwear based on the angle that you can tilt it to. So before I show you how that testing works, here's the quiz portion of my presentation. Go ahead and pick the footwear that you might select if you had a choice to buy if you were in a store. You know, if you're like me, you would have picked up the shoes and looked at the soles, and that's what you'd see. So who would pick A? Show of hands. B? Okay, that's most people, I think. C? A few people. And D? Oh. A few people. Okay, so some people have seen this presentation before. So here's what our testing looks like. So here's Jeff Fernie, by the way, is the gentleman you see walking back and forth here, who is the former institute director. You can see wearing a given pair of shoes on what we call a wet ice surface. He's able to walk up maybe a 1 or 2 degree incline with this first pair of boots, right? Let's switch that now to another pair of boots and see how much better they can do. The point is, in our testing, what we find is there's a really wide variation in the performance of different boots that you get, that you can buy. So the first one, remember, was only able to walk up about a 2-degree incline, and this one's going to be able to do a 20-degree incline on the same surface, on a wet ice surface. And many of you will be surprised to learn which one that was. The one that doesn't look like it has any tread is actually the one that performs the best. And most people probably picked this one, B, because it has little flecks of yellow paint. And footwear manufacturers have gotten really good at figuring out how to manipulate us into buying footwear that they put yellow paint on, even though roughly the same tread pattern here without the yellow paint works better. So all the information we get from this testing is available on our website, ratemytreads.com. You can go there and find out the ratings for footwear. And this is the MAA score, which is literally the angle at which that the boot starts to slip. And so a 10-degree angle, we call our cutoff at 7 degrees is a reasonable performance. And so now we have I understand now we have a few boots that achieve 2 snowflakes, which means so out of a 3 snowflake rating are able to do 2 snowflakes. I think that means they achieve more than 11 degrees. And so we've got a few that are doing better. What's really interesting is this testing program has shifted the footwear industry, because companies are finding, based on our ratings, people are buying the footwear preferentially that we are rating as the best, and it's making manufacturers produce this type of footwear. I know you're interested. What is it about this boot that makes it work so well? So it is part of a new generation of footwear that uses special materials, composite materials. These are two of our postdocs that dug into this material. When we got this prototype boot and we looked at it, we were so surprised by its performance. We looked at it under an electron microscope, and you see little glass fibers that are embedded inside there that make it work that way. The shoes I'm wearing right now use that technology as well. Vibram uses this technology, and it really has shown that it performs much, much better than the majority of footwear out there. So our testing is basically showing that you can't tell by looking at a boot how well it's going to perform. You need to actually test it. So it's great that this footwear works well in the lab, but what does that mean for slip and fall risk in the field? We did a study last winter, January and February, with 100 personal support workers. 50 of them we gave some of the best footwear that we'd tested. 50 of them wore their own footwear. And we were shocked at the difference in the risk of slips, the number of slips the control group reported versus the group that we gave footwear, and the risk of falls for the group that had their own footwear versus the ones that we gave footwear. It was a huge difference in the risk of falls. So we think there's a 5-fold reduction in fall risk for people that have their that wear some of this footwear.